Beloved, life is full of seasons, times of joy and times of weeping, moments of strength and moments of weakness. But one thing remains unshaken: God is with you. Even when the news is bad, when the doctor gives a negative report, or when all hope seems lost, remember, your story is not over until God says it is. This message is for anyone who has ever felt like giving up, for anyone who has ever received bad news, and for anyone who wonders if God still hears prayer. Today, we will dive deep into the life of a man who was told by God himself that he would die, but instead of giving up, he turned his face to the wall and prayed. That man was King Hezekiah, and through his story, may you find hope, faith, and restoration. Let this story show you that prayer still changes things, that God still adds years, and that even when death knocks, God has the final word. The story of King Hezekiah. Full Bible narrative. With insights. King Hezekiah was one of the greatest kings to ever rule Judah. Unlike many of the kings before him, he chose to follow God wholeheartedly. In a time when idolatry was common and many kings had turned away from the God of Israel, Hezekiah stood out. He restored worship in the temple, tore down idols, and led the people back to righteousness. Hezekiah's righteousness. The Bible describes Hezekiah in 2 Kings 18 verses 5-6 as follows: He trusted in the Lord God of Israel, so that after him was none like him among all the kings of Judah, nor any that were before him. For he clave to the Lord, and departed not from following him, but kept his commandments. Hezekiah was not just a king, he was a man of deep conviction. He led the nation in spiritual reform. He reopened the temple that had been closed by his father Ahaz. He restored the Levites to their duties, and he re-established the Passover, which had been neglected for years. Because of Hezekiah's faithfulness, God was with him, and he prospered in all that he did. Yet, in the midst of all his faith and obedience, a day came when he received terrible news: the death sentence from God. In Isaiah 38 verse 1 and 2 Kings 20 verse 1, we read the chilling message that came to Hezekiah. In those days was Hezekiah sick unto death. And the prophet Isaiah the son of Amoz came unto him, and said unto him, Thus saith the Lord, Set thine house in order, for thou shalt die, and not live. Imagine that. A man who had served God faithfully, who had restored godliness in the nation, who had brought revival, was told by God himself through the prophet Isaiah that his time was up. It wasn't a false prophecy. It was a direct word from the Lord.